Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Jake Hart, and I am really excited to dive into this topic with you today. We're going to be talking about manifesting money. And I can't wait to unpack some of these really powerful concepts from Abraham Hicks, channeled by the incredible Esther Hicks.
Hi, I'm Zara Moon, and you're right, the energy of abundance is definitely calling to me today.
Me too. But before we dive in, I think it'd be helpful for our listeners to get to know Esther Hicks just a little bit. She's been a leading voice in the law of attraction for decades, sharing her wisdom and insights through books, workshops, and of course, her channeled teachings from Abraham.
Exactly. Esther's work has truly touched millions of lives, and her collaboration with Abraham has provided a unique and profound perspective on the power of our thoughts and feelings to shape our reality.
All right, let's get into it. Our source material for this deep dive is a clip where Abraham, through Esther, tackles a common challenge many of us face, feeling like we're constantly struggling with money, almost like we're stuck in a loop of lack, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. In the clip, Abraham actually uses this striking phrase, "You've practiced lack of dollars, lack of dollars, lack of dollars." It's like we're inadvertently training our minds to focus on what we don't have, which, creates a vibrational mismatch with the abundance that we desire.
It's like a broken record stuck on repeat, playing the same tune of not enough over and over. But here's the million-dollar question. If focusing on lack is the problem, what's the solution? How do we break free from this cycle and start manifesting that financial abundance we crave?
Well, according to Abraham, the key is to shift our focus from manifesting money to cultivating the energy of abundance. It's not just about attracting more dollars, it's about embodying the feeling of wealth and prosperity, even before it manifests in our physical reality.
That's a really powerful shift in perspective. It's about recognizing that money is just energy, and like attracts like. So if we want to attract more money, we need to radiate the energy of abundance.
Exactly. And that energy is all about feeling good. Abraham uses this fantastic phrase, filthy rich with enthusiasm. It's not about being greedy or materialistic. It's about feeling rich in joy, satisfaction, and the pure pleasure of being alive.
Wow. Filthy rich with enthusiasm. That's a phrase that definitely paints a vivid picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's about embracing life with gusto and feeling truly abundant in every aspect of our being.
Exactly. It's about tapping into that vibrant, expansive energy that naturally attracts more of what we desire, including financial prosperity.
Now, this might sound a bit woo-woo to some people, but I think there's a lot of wisdom in what Abraham is saying. It's about recognizing that our thoughts and feelings create our reality. And if we're constantly focusing on lack and scarcity, we're essentially blocking the flow of abundance into our lives.
It's like we're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, wouldn't you say? Our thoughts and feelings become our dominant vibration, and we attract experiences that match that frequency. So if we want to experience more abundance, we need to raise our vibration to match the frequency of what we desire.
Right. And speaking of raising our vibration, I noticed that Abraham emphasizes the importance of gratitude in the clip. It's not just a nice to have. It seems like a crucial ingredient in this whole manifesting process.
Absolutely. Abraham provides this long list of things to be grateful for, from the simple pleasures of life to the deeper aspects of our existence. It's about recognizing and appreciating the abundance that already surrounds us.
It's like we're training our minds to scan for the good, even in the midst of challenges. And the more we practice gratitude, the more we shift our energetic state from lack to abundance.
Exactly. Gratitude is like a magnet for abundance. The more we appreciate what we have, the more we attract things to be grateful for. It creates this beautiful positive feedback loop that helps us shift our vibration and manifest our desires.
So it's not just about wanting more money, it's about cultivating an overall sense of abundance and appreciation for life. But I'm curious, why do some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth while others struggle, even if they're practicing gratitude and trying to shift their mindset? What's the missing piece of the puzzle?
That's a great question. And I think the answer lies in a concept Abraham calls readiness. It's not enough to just want more money. We also need to be in the right energetic state to receive it.
So it's about being vibrationally aligned with abundance. But what does that actually look and feel like? How do we know if we're truly ready to receive financial prosperity?
Well, Abraham suggests that we consider our feelings about money. Do we see it as a source of stress, scarcity, or even guilt? Or do we view it as a tool, a resource that can help us create a more joyful and fulfilling life?
That's a powerful question to reflect on, isn't it? Our relationship with money is often shaped by our past experiences and beliefs. which can create energetic blockages that prevent us from fully receiving abundance.
Exactly. And sometimes those blockages are so deeply ingrained that we're not even aware of them. It's like having invisible barriers that prevent the flow of financial prosperity into our lives.
So if we're feeling stuck or struggling with money, it might be helpful to examine our beliefs and emotions surrounding it. And if we notice any negative associations, we can start to consciously shift those beliefs to create a more positive and receptive energetic state.
Absolutely. It's about becoming aware of those limiting beliefs and choosing to replace them with more empowering ones. For example, instead of believing that money is scarce or hard to come by, we can start to affirm that abundance is our birthright and that money flows to us easily and effortlessly.
I love that. It's about rewiring our minds for abundance and creating a new set of beliefs that support our financial well-being.
Exactly. And the more we practice those new beliefs, the more they become ingrained in our subconscious mind. And the more we attract experiences that reflect those beliefs.
This is fascinating stuff. But before we get too carried away with beliefs, I want to touch on a really captivating analogy Abraham uses in the clip, the high-flying disc. It sounds almost magical, doesn't it?
It does. The high-flying disc is a metaphor for that state of pure, joyful abundance, where everything seems to flow effortlessly. You're not just thinking about abundance, you're feeling it in every fiber of your being.
It's like that feeling of being in the zone, where you're energized, inspired, and everything seems to just click into place. Sounds pretty amazing. But how do we actually get on this metaphorical high-flying disc? Is it a matter of willpower, positive affirmations, or something else entirely?
It's less about forcing it and more about cultivating it. Abraham emphasizes that the best way to access this state is by focusing on thoughts and feelings that feel good. Remember that long list of things to be grateful for. That's a fantastic starting point.
So it's about consciously choosing a more positive frequency, almost like tuning into a radio station that's playing uplifting music instead of the doom and gloom news channel.
Exactly. And the more we practice this, the more natural it becomes to access that state of joy and abundance.
That makes sense. But from personal experience, I know that even when we're actively trying to cultivate positivity, those pesky negative thoughts and limiting beliefs can creep in and try to sabotage our abundance flow. It's like they have a life of their own.
They do. And Abraham acknowledges this challenge by using the imagery of clogged pipes. These clogged pipes represent those negative thoughts and beliefs that create energetic blockages, preventing the free flow of abundance into our lives.
It's like trying to force water through a pipe that's filled with debris. It's just not going to flow smoothly.
Exactly. And the more we dwell on those negative thoughts, the more debris we accumulate, further restricting the flow of abundance.
So how do we deal with these clogged pipes? Do we need some sort of energetic drain cleaner to blast away those blockages?
That's where the concept of laying new pipes comes in. It's about creating new pathways of least resistance to abundance by focusing on positive thoughts and feelings.
So instead of fighting those negative thoughts head on, we simply choose to give them less attention and focus our energy on creating new, more positive thought patterns.
Precisely. And Abraham emphasizes that the best time to lay new pipes is from our high-flying disc. It's like saying, let's start from a place of joy and abundance and then build from there.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
It's about harnessing the power of momentum. If we're already feeling good, it's much easier to attract more goodness into our lives. But what about those moments when we're feeling stuck in a negative spiral? How do we shift our focus back to the positive when it feels like we're drowning in doubt and worry?
That's where conscious awareness comes in. It's about noticing those negative thoughts as they arise and choosing to not engage with them. Instead of getting sucked into the drama, we simply acknowledge their presence and gently redirect our attention to something more positive.
So it's like saying, hey, negative thought, I see you, but I'm not going to give you my energy today. I'm choosing to focus on something that feels better. It's about recognizing that we have the remote control and we can choose to change the channel to something more uplifting.
You got it. It's about taking ownership of our thoughts and feelings and recognizing that we're not at their mercy. We have the power to choose what we focus on.
And that's incredibly empowering. It means we're not victims of circumstance. We have the ability to shape our experience by consciously choosing our thoughts and feelings.
Absolutely. And the more we practice this, the more we realize just how much power we truly have.
This is such a fascinating conversation, and I think it's a great place to pause for a moment. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive, exploring the concepts of focusing on abundance, the power of gratitude, readiness, and the fascinating metaphors of the high-flying disc and laying new pipes.
It's been a joy to explore these ideas with you, Jake, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to start shifting their energy and creating a more abundant reality for themselves. And we're back diving deeper into the world of manifesting money with Abraham Hicks. It's fascinating to explore how our thoughts and feelings can shape our financial reality, isn't it?
Totally. Before the break, we were talking about consciously choosing where we direct our attention, like switching channels on a TV to find a more uplifting program. It seems like this choice is a big theme in the source material, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Abraham emphasizes that we're not just passively observing our thoughts and emotions, we actually have the power to actively engage with them or choose to let them pass by like clouds in the sky.
That reminds me of a powerful quote from the source material that really stuck with me. You are the one who's keeping the pathways open. What do you think Abraham means by that, especially in the context of manifesting money?
It's about recognizing that we are the architects of our own abundance. Not just passive recipients hoping for a windfall. We create the pathways, the energetic channels through which prosperity can flow into our lives.
So it's not about waiting for some external force to grant us wealth. It's about consciously creating the conditions for abundance to thrive within us and around us.
Exactly. And those conditions are primarily created through our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs.
So if we're constantly focusing on lack, scarcity, or feeling unworthy, we're essentially blocking those pathways of abundance. We're putting up energetic roadblocks that prevent the free flow of money and other forms of prosperity.
Think of it like this. If you believe deep down that you're not deserving of wealth, you're going to unconsciously sabotage yourself. You might miss opportunities, make poor financial decisions, or simply just not believe in your own ability to create abundance.
That makes a lot of sense. It's almost like we're unknowingly fulfilling our own limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
But what if we shift our focus? Instead of dwelling on those negative beliefs, what happens if we start cultivating feelings of gratitude, joy, and a deep sense of worthiness?
Then we start opening those pathways wide. We create a magnetic field that attracts abundance into our lives. It's like we're sending a clear signal to the universe that says, I'm open and receptive to receiving all the good that's in store for me.
That's such a powerful image, and it brings us back to that concept of laying new pipes from our high-flying disc.
Yes. Remember, that high-flying disc represents that state of pure, joyful abundance where we're feeling good, energized, and aligned with the frequency of what we desire.
So laying new pipes from this state means creating new neural pathways, new habits of thought and feeling that support the flow of abundance into our lives.
Exactly. And the key here, as Abraham emphasizes, is to start from a place of joy and enthusiasm, not from a place of desperation or force. It's about aligning ourselves with the energy of what we want, not pushing against the current of what we don't want.
So it's not about gritting our teeth and forcing ourselves to be positive. It's about finding genuine joy and excitement in the process of creating abundance. It's
Yeah.
like tapping into that playful, childlike energy where anything feels possible.
Exactly. When we're feeling good, we're naturally more open and receptive to receiving. It's like we're radiating a magnetic energy that draws in positive experiences, including financial prosperity.
But realistically, I think a lot of our listeners might be wondering, how do we maintain that high-flying disc energy when life inevitably throws us curveballs? It's easy to get knocked off balance by challenges, setbacks, or even just the daily grind.
You're right, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but that's where the real work begins. It's about developing the awareness to recognize when we veered off course and the tools to gently guide ourselves back to that more positive state.
So it's not about being happy or positive every single second of every day. That's unrealistic and honestly probably exhausting.
Exactly. It's about noticing those negative thoughts as they arise and making a conscious choice to not get swept away by them.
This brings us back to that idea of clogged pipes. The source material highlights how dwelling on negative thoughts and experiences can actually create energetic blockages, preventing the free flow of abundance.
It's like watering a weed instead of a flower. The more attention we give to negativity, the more it flourishes. And while we can't always control what happens externally, we can certainly control what we choose to focus on internally.
So it's about recognizing that we have a choice. We don't have to get sucked into those negative thought spirals. We can choose to focus on something that feels better, something that aligns with our desires.
Precisely. And that's where the power of redirection comes in. Instead of battling with negative thoughts, we simply acknowledge them and gently shift our attention to something more positive.
It's like saying, hey, negative thought, I see you, but I'm not going to entertain you today. I'm choosing to focus on something that empowers me and aligns with my vision of abundance.
Exactly. And the more we practice this, the easier it becomes to detach from those negative spirals and cultivate a more positive and abundant mindset. It's like we're training our brains to automatically scan for the good, even in challenging situations.
This is so empowering. It means we're not at the mercy of our circumstances.
Hmm.
We have the ability to choose our thoughts and feelings, and in doing so, we shape our reality.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of the law of attraction. It reminds us that we are powerful creators.
Now, I'm curious. In the source material, Abraham mentions that the best time to lay new pipes is from our high-flying disk. What do you think they mean by that?
It's about leveraging momentum. When we're already feeling good, joyful, and aligned with abundance, it's much easier to create new positive thought patterns and beliefs.
It's like we're tapping into that creative flow state where ideas come easily, inspiration strikes, and we're naturally more receptive to receiving.
Exactly. Starting from a place of joy and enthusiasm allows us to build those new pipes with greater ease and effectiveness.
So it's not about waiting till we're feeling down or struggling to start making positive changes. It's about capitalizing on those moments when we're already feeling good to amplify that energy and create even more abundance.
Precisely. And that brings us to a crucial question. How do we actually lay these new pipes? What are some practical things our listeners can do to start creating those new pathways for abundance?
That's a great question. I think we need to break this down and offer some tangible steps our listeners can implement. After all, the goal of the deep dives is to provide actionable insights, not just abstract concepts.
You're absolutely right. So let's dive into some practical techniques for laying new pipes from that high-flying disk energy.
Okay, I'm ready to get practical. What's step one?
The first step is awareness. We need to become conscious of our current thought patterns and beliefs, especially those related to money and abundance.
So it's about paying attention to our inner dialogue, those automatic thoughts and assumptions that often run on autopilot in the background of our minds.
Exactly. And it's helpful to ask ourselves some key questions. What are my core beliefs about money? Do I believe it's scarce or abundant? Do I feel worthy of receiving wealth? Do I associate money with stress or joy?
Those are powerful questions.
Okay.
And once we become aware of those underlying beliefs, what's the next step?
The next step is to consciously choose to replace those limiting beliefs with more empowering ones. If we catch ourselves thinking, money is hard to come by, we can choose to reframe that thought with something like, abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly.
It's like we're actively rewiring our brains for abundance.
Exactly. And repetition is key here. The more we repeat those new empowering beliefs, the more we strengthen those neural pathways, and the more they become our dominant way of thinking.
So it's about creating a new mental soundtrack that supports our financial well-being.
Exactly. And it's not just about thoughts, it's also about feelings. We need to cultivate emotions that are aligned with abundance, such as joy, gratitude, and excitement.
Because remember, emotions are energy in motion.
Mhm.
And if we want to attract more money, we need to radiate the energy of abundance.
Exactly. And there are lots of ways to cultivate those positive emotions. We can practice gratitude, spend time doing things we love, surround ourselves with positive people, and even just choose to focus on the good things in our lives.
It's like we're creating a positive feedback loop. The more we focus on feeling good, the more we attract experiences that make us feel good, and the more we attract abundance into our lives.
Precisely. It's about creating an upward spiral of positivity and abundance.
This is all so insightful. But I think it's time to pause here for a moment and let our listeners absorb these powerful concepts. We'll be back shortly to explore some more practical tips for laying new pipes and manifesting financial abundance. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into manifesting money with Abraham Hicks. It's been a really great conversation so far. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling super energized after unpacking those concepts of laying new pipes and shifting our beliefs about abundance.
Me too. It's amazing how much power we have to shape our reality, when we start to understand the principles of the law of attraction.
Absolutely. But before we wrap things up, I want to make sure our listeners have some practical tools they can use to, start laying those new pipes and manifesting those financial dreams.
Great idea. We've talked about the importance of shifting our beliefs and cultivating positive emotions, but let's get even more specific. What are some tangible actions people can take to align themselves with the frequency of abundance?
Okay, let's brainstorm. I know Abraham talked a lot about the power of visualization. Can you explain how that works and how our listeners can use it to manifest more money?
Well, visualization is a really powerful technique because it taps into that creative power of our imagination. It's about creating a clear mental picture of what we want to experience, as if it's already happening.
So if we're looking to manifest more money,
Hmm.
we could visualize ourselves like having a healthy bank account, paying our bills with ease, or even, indulging in some of those filthy rich with enthusiasm experiences that Abraham talks about.
Exactly. And the key is to engage all of our senses in the visualization. Don't just see it, feel it, hear it, smell it, taste it. The more vivid and detailed our visualization, the more real it becomes to our subconscious mind, and the more we amplify that magnetic pull toward our desired outcome.
So it's like we're creating a blueprint for our desires to manifest in reality. What other practical techniques can our listeners use?
Another powerful tool is affirmations. These are positive statements that reinforce our desired beliefs and help to reprogram our subconscious mind. Instead of dwelling on thoughts like, I'm always broke, we can start repeating affirmations like, I am a magnet for money, or abundance flows to me effortlessly.
It's like we're replacing that old negative soundtrack with a new, empowering anthem for financial abundance.
Exactly. And the key with affirmations is to say them with conviction and feeling. Don't just mindlessly repeat the words, but really embody the emotion behind them. Imagine yourself already living in that state of abundance as you say those affirmations.
This is making me think about the concept of acting as if. I've heard that could be a really powerful tool for manifestation as well.
Absolutely. Acting as if is all about aligning our actions with our desired outcome. So, if we want to manifest more money, we can start acting as if we already have it. This could mean treating ourselves to something special, giving generously to others, or simply carrying ourselves with confidence and an abundance mindset.
It's about embodying that energy of wealth and prosperity in our everyday lives, even before it manifests in our bank accounts.
Exactly. And remember, the universe responds to our vibration, not just our words. When we act as if, we're sending a really powerful signal that we're ready to receive that abundance.
This is all so inspiring, but, I want to acknowledge that manifesting money can be a tricky subject. Some people might be listening and thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but what about those practical real-world challenges? What if I'm struggling to make ends meet or I've got bills piling up? Does this law of attraction stuff really work in those situations?
Yeah, that's a very valid question. And it's important to address those real-world concerns. The law of attraction doesn't magically erase our challenges or responsibilities. It's not about ignoring our problems or pretending that they don't exist.
So it's not about denying reality, it's about shifting our perspective and choosing to focus on solutions rather than getting bogged down by those problems.
Exactly. And it's about taking inspired action. The law of attraction is not passive. It requires us to take steps toward our goals, even if those steps are small.
So it's not about, sitting on the couch, visualizing a pile of money, and expecting it to magically appear. It's about aligning our energy with abundance and then taking inspired action toward those financial goals.
Precisely. It's about becoming a conscious co-creator with the universe. We set the intention, we cultivate the energy, and then we take inspired action, trusting that the universe will meet us halfway.
This has been such an incredible deep dive, Zara. We've covered so much ground today. From understanding those principles of vibrational alignment to exploring those practical techniques for manifesting money, and laying new pipes for abundance. I don't know about you, but I am feeling so inspired to put all of these concepts into practice.
Me too. It's been a joy to share this exploration with you, Jake, and with all of our amazing listeners out there.
Before we wrap up, I want to encourage everyone listening to continue this journey of exploration and discovery. Keep practicing those visualization techniques, those affirmations, that acting as if. And most importantly, keep cultivating that filthy rich with enthusiasm energy.
Yes, embrace the joy of the journey and trust that the universe is conspiring to support your financial well-being.
And for those who are loving this deep dive and want to help us keep the good vibes flowing, please consider subscribing to our channel, Mystic Podcast Cruise. We're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support would mean the world to us.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope this deep dive has sparked your imagination and empowered you to manifest those financial dreams.
Until next time, may your journey be filled with abundance, joy, and endless possibilities.